Good evening. Welcome to Soundtracks with Birdman. Tonight, H. Boom and I were going to watch War Horse, the 2011? Yeah, 2011 Steven Spielberg film, scored by John Williams. However, someone on the stream who lives with a pack of dogs, it's not the best movie. It hits a little too close to home for me. Granted, my dogs have never gone off to war and fight, but seeing the distress that the horses get in, it's just it really bothered me. Watching the film. I've listened to the soundtrack for quite some time. I've seen bits and pieces on the YouTube. I never really sat down to watch it, so I sat down and watched it for this show, and like everything with the horse, it's just like man, this. It's gonna be like 2.5 hours of me like sobbing on a live stream, and like German terrorists watching Die Hard for Christmas. They just can't do it. I just really can't watch War Horse. If I never see the film again, I'm okay with that. I'm not saying it's a bad film. It's a very well made film. I liked everything about the film except for the fact that everything the horse had to go through. So I apologize. If you're here for a live commentary for the entire movie, we will not be doing that. We will just be discussing the film, but I will not be viewing the film probably ever again. It's just, I guess it'd be like me watching Old Yellow on my birthday. It just ain't going to happen. So, Boomer, how are you?
I'm fine. So, Megan Levy rewatch next week?
A what?
Megan Levy? It's a movie about a woman soldier in Iraq and her dog, war dog. No, probably not. I'm just joking.
No. We're doing Superman 4 next week.
You're doing Superman 4? Why Superman 4?
We're doing with the deleted scenes. He was on your show and he mentioned he never saw Superman 4 because of all the bad press it got. And I said, next week, you're on my channel. We're doing Superman 4. He's like, okay.
So the arrangements are in. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Superman 4. That's going to be
4.
depressing. That's going to be depressing.
Superman 3 is depressing, my friend. Superman 4.
No. Don't compare the two. You think Superman 4 is better than Superman 3?
Oh, yeah.
We're saving this. We'll save this for next week.
We'll save this for next week. Yeah.
3 has problems, but it has things I like about it.
3 doesn't
4
have
has
problems.
nothing.
3
has nothing.
3 is like, it's just like, I've been like rewatching Superman film on the HBO thing.
Yeah,
I
have HBO Max, great.
Yeah, I can't even get through Superman 3. I can do maybe 10 minutes at a time. It's like, God, this fucking sucks. Okay,
well, we'll have a discussion next week. Anyway, we're here to talk about War Horse.
War Horse. Let me just welcome the chat super fast. Ghost Planet Max 1.0. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Big Al says Spielberg and Williams, always a great combo. Yes, just like the things that come in the bag at the grocery store, say combos on them. Always tasty, always good.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you're right.
We'll get there. We'll get there. I have some things to say about this movie.
Big Al says, I'm sorry I suggested the film. Don't be sorry. It's not a bad film. It's just, like I said, I live with the pack. I share my life with a pack of dogs. And it's just everything that, okay. If a film does not make you feel something, then the filmmakers fundamentally failed across the board. Steven Spielberg and crew greatly succeeded in that endeavor on this motion picture. The cinematography is beautiful. The production design is beautiful. The sound is beautiful. The acting is top-notch. The film score by John Williams makes my top 10 of John Williams' film scores since the year 2000. Easy. Top 20 of all time. Easy. Not even a contest. But it's like, I don't want to sit down and watch Schindler's List. I don't want to sit down and watch Saving Private Ryan. I don't want to sit down and watch this. I'm not saying it's a bad film. I'm just saying, for me to sit here for like 2.5 hours and watch this, I'm gonna be doing this.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be like emotionally distraught for the next 3 days. I don't want to go there again.
Okay, so War Horse by Spielberg. I remember really looking forward to this movie because he had done Saving Private Ryan, which was a very gritty World War II movie. It was not all sunshine and rainbows in that movie.
True.
Correct.
Very true.
You had sticky bombs blowing people up, and you know, sparing your enemy soldier only to have him come back and gut you like a fish. I mean, this is what Saving Private Ryan was, and then
Going down here. We're going down. Let's try to keep it up.
here we go. And now here we are with War Horse. Is this a PG-13 movie? I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. The beginning of the movie starts out on an Irish farm. Did you like that? The whole part in Ireland.
I thought it was beautifully shot.
I'm gonna sell the horse, son. You know, that sort of thing.
I like the horse. I like the characters. I like the actors. Yeah. The opening flute part of the film score with John Williams had the flute soloist. I thought she did a wonderful job. I just can't remember her name right now. Yeah. But it's a very, very beautiful film score. It just perfectly matches the scenery. It has some Jane Eyre overtones to it, which I think everyone knows. If you watch this channel long enough, you know my thoughts on Jane Eyre from John Williams. Yeah, the opening was fine. And, you know, I also kind of like compare it to like Angela's Ashes. That's just not a film that I walk out there and I'm like, yeah, let's stop at Baskin Robbins and get some milkshakes. You know, it's just like.
There's a wonderful drinking game that goes with Angela's Ashes. Every time you see someone puke, you take a drink.
Okay, I did not.
There's a lot of puking in that movie. There's a lot of puking in Angela's Ashes.
That's a Florida thing.
Okay, that's cool. Just no. There's a lot of puking in Angela's Ashes. That was my joke.
Okay.
There was a wonderful commercial for some kind of mobile game where you had this Irish guy saying, "When I was a kid, we only had one game. It was kick the kid with one shoe." And you see these kids, and I think he was the kid with the one shoe, and they were chasing him through, I guess, Limerick, you know. And then he says, "But now I get all the free games. All right, now I'm the one kicking arse," you know. And it was kind of funny because, you know, it was kick the. It's like the guy. It's like Angela's Ashes. He's reciting his miserable childhood, you know. And just never mind. Okay.
Johnny Shannon asks, "Is it me or does anyone else notice the horrible lighting in some scenes? It's like someone's holding a huge flashlight on the actors." You know, normally I forget this guy's name because I can't pronounce it. I'm from Alabama. But this the cinematographer that Spielberg's been using like past 20 or so years. I really don't like any movie that he's lit and shot except for this one. I hated Minority Report. Oh my Lord. But I thought he did a really good job with this film, which surprised me. I'm like, this is the same guy, and I think he won an Academy Award for this film, if I remember correctly.
I think Minority Report, it had that what do you call it? Saturated look to it.
Yeah,
I think because it's in the future, it's supposed to be. This is not now. I think that's why they were trying to make it look a little different. You know, I mean.
Thank you, Big Al. Jan. How do you say that, Boomer?
Jenna's Kaminsky.
Boomer's from the South.
Kaminsky.
From New Jersey. So yeah.
Kaminsky.
Yeah, I don't care for him.
You don't care for him.
I don't care for him, but I enjoyed cinematography in War Horse. That may be the only film that he's lit that I liked.
So War Horse, my initial impression of it, and people are going to scream at me. I don't care. This to me feels like it's too light for a World War I movie.
Really?
See, you're finding it too harsh, which I find interesting. I think
see, the story, I mean, honestly, it's told from the point of view of the horse. You follow the horse through the entire movie, not the same characters.
I think the horse was the character in the book, which
he was. Okay.
All right.
But I can kind of understand, like, if you had followed the same character in the trenches of World War I, I think it'd be kind of light from that viewpoint. But I mean, the horse. I mean, we did not have a pleasant time.
Well, no. You'd be horrified to learn on All Creatures Great and Small. I've been watching that show on PBS, and the main veterinarian on that, the British government didn't want to bring the horses back home, so they says you are going to have to euthanize them, and he didn't want to do it because, of course, he loves animals, and they said either you do it or I'll get somebody else, and I think he figured better me than somebody else. I'll try to make it as painless as possible, but he was not happy about that. That's why he's really against his younger brother going into World War II. He's like, don't do it. That upset him because he felt the horses were veterans too. They were with us. They survived the war. They should be able to come home, and he was angry about that.
Well, you bring interesting side note. The United States government, our government, with Admiral Byrd's expedition to like the North Pole or the South Pole, whichever one it was. You know what they did to the sled dogs when they got ready to leave?
What?
They blew them up with dynamite.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway, on Unpleasant Tales of...
So what I've been trying to avoid, we're just wallowing in like pigs in the mud. So
okay,
that's great.
So, well, speaking of mud, there's muddy scenes in the beginning of the movie with the horse plowing, and there's that big triumph thing when it plows so good it even breaks the stone that they couldn't break. Remember that? That was a big thing. I'm sure there was a triumphant crescendo in whatever John Williams track there was.
It does have some wonderful swells to it.
I'm just feeling like not even that I'm that obsessed with war movies myself. Any movie that's good, I'll watch it. And this is Spielberg. He did a great job with Saving Private Ryan. I get the War Horse, and I'm feeling like he's shying away from the horror of war a little bit here. Maybe that I'd probably get attacked if Eric Woods was here. But there's that scene where all the where Benedict Cumberbatch, right, and they're charging into battle on the horses.
Yeah.
And then they charge, and then I guess the machine gun goes off, and then all you see are the horses galloping away.
Yep. Yeah. I was like, you're showing it without showing it. Definitely. I mean,
that bugged me, and it happens a lot in this movie.
Also, I think realistically, I think the horses would have been mowed down too. I don't think the people in those Maximilian machine guns would have been that accurate. But let's not nitpick too much.
Maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe this is in some ways it's a little fanciful. Maybe
it does have Spielberg sentimentality all over.
It drives me nuts. It's the one aspect of him I don't like, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't work, and it's all over the place in this movie. I do give him points for not portraying any side as bad, so I give him points for that. He's actually very fair to the Germans, I think, in this movie, as any of the other sides.
And historically, it's kind of hard to point at one group in World War I and say like naughty, naughty, naughty.
Yeah. There's the you get all the little different vignettes and stories. You have the two deserters. Were they German deserters or French deserters?
They were German brothers.
Yeah, they were the German brothers, and they didn't want to fight in the war. Then they desert, and then they were thinking about fleeing to Italy, but then they get captured, and then cost of desertion is execution. And you see the windmill, and then the windmill passes over them, and you hear the shot, and then they're on the ground. And again, this is going to sound awful. I don't want to say I feel cheated because it's not like I necessarily enjoy that, but I feel you either.
Damn, Boomer.
It's like he wants to show up, but he doesn't, and it drives me nuts.
I think he's trying to have a bit more innocent, maybe.
But it's not innocent. That's the thing. This is a nasty, brutal war. Maybe the most brutal, nasty war in human history, or at least up there. And I'm just, it's not. I don't know. I don't know what happened. He's the man that did Saving Private Ryan. And usually
I
World
War
II
no
gets romanticized.
And Private Ryan.
No, it's not really. Maybe toward the end when he's by the grave, but even there, I don't
think
so.
That right there killed the movie for me. I'm like, why is this on here?
Well, it doesn't kill the movie for me.
Way out of place.
It was all right. I mean,
okay,
with his grandkids that don't get it, they're in the bright touristy outfits, and anyway, I don't know. Where are we getting back?
Stored in the pen. Welcome to the chat. Thanks for joining us. Says I think this was marketed as a child-friendly horse and war movie. Wow. Yeah. I don't know.
Sorry.
I would have handled this movie as a child. Probably between like bored and like utterly emotionally scarred. Somewhere in between there.
It might be the most child-friendly World War I movie. I'll say that. I mean, I'm trying to think of anything. I think the Peanuts special.
That was World War II.
World War I and World War II, they talk about both in that special.
Okay.
I felt that was a more intense than this. I felt the original black and white All Quiet on the Western Front, for its time, very, 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 very gritty. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh. Let's go with the different vignettes. We have the little girl, the French countryside, right?
Mm-hmm.
The little girl and the horse, right? In fact, I think it happens on the farm where the deserters were, right?
Yeah.
After they drag the deserters away, this is the guy that owned the farm, right? And they find the horse, or they find it on a neighboring farm. They find the horse, and they're making preserves, right? And the little girl loves the horse, right? Is there an argument about whether or not to keep the horse? Was that a thing? I don't remember.
I think so.
Okay. And you have the grandfather, and I don't know what happened to his children. Were they casualties of the war, perhaps civilian casualties, or something else?
We're getting dark again, Boomer. I got to turn on a nightlight here.
Okay, I don't know what to tell you.
How about the budget was 70, the box office was 177.6. This was Steven Spielberg's second film that year. It opened like 4 days before The Adventures of Tintin.
I still haven't seen Tintin. I need to watch Tintin.
Do you have the score?
No, I don't think I have the score to Tintin. I haven't seen the movie yet. I know
What
you buy the
has
score.
To do with the other? That's like, okay. But
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying they're completely unrelated.
I like to go unencumbered when I see a movie, and here I'd see everything for the first time. Usually, Let me see Tintin. Do I own Tintin, or do I own the other one? I think I own the Scorsese one.
Okay, well, anyway, John Williams scored 2 Steven Spielberg films that year. He got 2 Academy Award nominations, one for Tintin, one for Warhorse. The other nominations that year were Hugo by Howard Shore, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy by Albert Iglesias, and then the winner was Ludovir Borsi. Anyway, it's from The Artist. I know nothing about that film.
Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy?
No, I know that film. That's based on a book. The Artist. The Artist. Did you see The Artist? Are you familiar?
I've heard it. Was Adrian Brody in it?
Did it have Adrian Brody?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, that got Best Original Score. Warhorse got 6 nominations: Best Picture, Art Direction, Cinematography, Score, Sound Editing, and Sound Mixing. It won Film of the Year from the American Film Institute, and the BMI Film and TV Awards gave it Best Score for John Williams.
Okay.
You have Tim Morrison doing trumpet solos, which I'm sure you remember him from JFK and Born 4th of July.
Yeah.
He did trumpet solos in those films.
Trying to think what else. Yeah, anyway, okay. So back to Warhorse, though. Did you see this in the theater?
No, I didn't see it until I was doing research for the show.
What?
Yeah, I didn't see it in theater.
Okay. You had to sit through it once, and you were jarred by the abuse the poor horses took during the war, like with the. I'm not going to get into detail here.
Okay, okay, Boomer. Do you live with 10 dogs?
No.
Okay.
I like animals. I'm just saying.
Well, there's liking animals, and there's like living with the animals and taking care of them.
It's all simulated. I'm around people all the time. I'll still partake of a Saw movie.
Okay. All right, Mother
Have you
Teresa.
seen the Saw movies?
That'll
be a score discussion at some point.
Okay, Sword and Pen, The Artist was a black and white French-English film. It was also a silent film. The Yalsta's Artist was a silent film. Things. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember that film. No, I did not see it in the theater. I don't know why I didn't see it in the theater. Probably because I was too busy working all the damn time back then. But
it was a black and white English film. Okay. I don't know. So Warhorse, did you like the little vignette about the little French girl? And then the horsey gets taken away by the French soldiers.
Like 80 minutes of the film are actually devoted to war.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
it's a movie about war. I would figure the whole thing should be. But
yeah,
anyway,
yeah, I understand.
Okay.
I remember when I first got the soundtrack. Of course, I bought it when it came out, and I listened to it for about a week. And I'm like, there's not a lot of like action music on this soundtrack.
Oh.
And then it kind of got filed away. And I didn't really think about it for several years. And the FSO did a cover of the main theme a few months back. It might have been a year or so back at this point. And I was like, yeah, that is really good. I'd forgotten how good the score was. And then Eric Woods and I were talking about it. And we were both discussing Warhorse. And I'm like, I need to revisit this. So I started listening to it. And then I tracked it down an LP. And I've gotten a new appreciation for it really this year. It's one of those scores that it came out. I gave it an initial listen. For whatever reason, it just didn't strike me at the time. But then you go back to it and you're like, yeah, this is really good. I don't know how I missed out on this when it originally came out. And like I said, it's easy my top 5 John Williams scores since the year 2000. And for those of you curious, the other 4 are Patriot, Terminal, Memoirs of a Geisha, and Munich.
I still have to watch The Terminal. I've never seen it.
It's a cute movie.
Yeah, I should watch it. I do like Tom Hanks, and I did like it when he worked with Spielberg on things. So I like Bridge of Spies. See, that's a war movie. It's a Cold War movie. That was actually a good Spielberg movie.
Yeah, I boycotted that movie because Thomas Newman did it, and I was like, "What's the Steven Spielberg film that's not scored by John Williams?"
Really, I thought it was a Williams score. I couldn't tell the difference.
Thomas Newman. John Williams. John Williams had heart surgery around that point in time.
Yeah, well, okay, he needed a break, so you got
he needed
somebody
a break.
else doing the score.
I'm not knocking the man. I'm saying,
Okay. Anyway, back to Warhorse. There's that wonderful line when the grandfather asks the French soldier, when will this stop? When you keep coming by my property, take my stuff? He says, when the war is over. And then he says, but this war will never be over. And then he says, well, then you have your answer. That was kind of harsh, wasn't it? The French probably come out looking worse than anybody else, I think, in this movie. But
yeah, I mean, well, actually, I think France probably got the worst at World War. Well, Belgium.
Actually, no, they got. I think they had the worst casualties, didn't they?
Yeah,
I could be wrong. I think it was argued they lost an entire generation of men almost because of that war.
they did.
Let's see what else was going on. I'm not a war expert, though.
Well, let me hit Johnny Shan's comment. He saw Warhorse in theater, and the guy next to him leaned over and asked him if he could stop making so much noise eating his huge bag of pistachios.
Pistachios?
Yeah. Those little nuts?
You have to break the shells.
You can't eat the shells? Sword in the Fence says China had the worst fallout from World War II. Yeah.
Interesting.
China didn't. Did they have worse than Russia?
I don't know. Possibly.
I know Stalin. I mean, historically, Russians don't care about casualties. Nothing slows them down. They don't care.
It's interesting. They on that show, the Americans, when the Soviet spies are over here in the United States, and they're training one of the younger agents on that show, and who was raised in America, and she was saying they call it World War II. We called it the War of the Patriots. We suffered a lot more casualties than the Americans did in that war. We're the ones that won that war, not the other. They were, because of course from their POV that's what happened. But okay,
wow.
So
40 to 80 million in China.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
So, what was I going to say though? One thing the movie does well, I think, is showing how weaponry advances during the war. You do get to see that. I think first you have the horses dragging the things, and then later on you actually see early tanks, I believe, toward the end, right?
Yep.
Well, that's interesting.
It was tanks that really broke the stalemate of the war.
Interesting. Who invented those?
I think the first tank was actually British.
Oh, I was hoping it was us. Anyway. Henry Ford says, hey, I got an idea. Let's make a car with a big gun on it. That's how it happened. Right?
Yeah.
No, that's not how it happened. Okay.
No.
I'm trying to remember what else happens in this movie. I know that eventually the horse escapes and runs away, and then it ends up on the battlefield, correct?
It gets stuck in barbed wire.
Okay, that's the scene you don't want to talk about.
I think that was the worst scene in the movie for me.
And then there's this interesting scene where one of the British soldiers goes over, and if I'm correct, is it
meets the German soldier, and they cut him free from the barbed wire.
Yes, it was interesting. They work together. It's like a detente thing to help the poor horse.
Yep.
I thought that was interesting, and and there's that, and they're talking about how what are your girls like? What are our girls like? Which that sort of thing. And what do we have next? I don't remember what happens between then the little girl and then and the guy finding him on the barbed wire. Do you remember? But if
he goes back with the British, and he meets his old friend, and that was the Battle of the Somme, wasn't it?
Second Battle of the Somme, yes.
Yeah. Which was not a fun thing to be at.
Gas bomb explodes.
That too. That would have been mustard gas, I believe.
Yes. Benedict Cumberbatch is in this in the beginning scene as that officer. It's kind of funny how he shows up in 1917 as well. Remember that?
Loki is in the movie as well. He gets killed.
Tom Hiddleston, yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you got a whole host of great British actors in this movie.
David, I say his name. Phillipson.
Is Pete Postlethwaite in this at all? No, because he was in last week's movie. I'm just saying. Then you have the auction at the end, and the French grandfather, and they're both bidding on the horse. Like he wants the horse, but then
I didn't like that scene either.
Too sentimental. What do you think? What's wrong with that? He wanted it because it was the only thing he had left of his granddaughter, right? Because his granddaughter must have died.
It's just.
She had cholera or some other disease or something. I don't know.
It's just. The treatment of the animals just bothered me. It's just really good.
Well, that was sort of the point, though, right?
Probably so. Yes, and like I said, if a film does not affect you on an emotional level, filmmakers completely failed in their endeavor. So, Steven Spielberg was successful. It just hit awfully close to home for me.
Okay, all right. So then the guy gets his horse back, goes back to Ireland.
Yes.
I'd like to think it gets used by the IRA later. I'm kidding. How you doing there? Got any more comments?
Do you have the score?
Do I have the score for Warhorse? I think I do, actually. Yes.
Okay.
I think it's just the original release, though. Was there a better release later on?
Funny you bring that up. The FYC version has 5 more tracks, but it's 4 minutes shorter.
Yeah, I think my dad had this CD. 5 minutes shorter?
5 minutes shorter, but 5 more tracks.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Was there an
Anya song on the credits or something?
It looks like for the soundtrack release, some of the tracks were combined for the commercial release. I finally tracked down an FYC to purchase. It's not here yet.
All right.
But, I'm gonna have to listen to them side by side. And yeah, the British did invent the first tank.
So let's see.
September 15th, 1916. It's called the Mark I.
So, what does Spielberg think of this movie? Does he ever bring it up?
He likes this film. He says one of his more difficult films to film. I mean, not Schindler's List level difficult, but he said it was very difficult.
Yeah, Schindler's List, that's a good one. I'm trying to think.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. He wasn't even done with Jurassic Park when he started Schindler's List. He was still editing Jurassic Park every night while filming Schindler's List.
Wow, that's a fun time, right?
Oh, I'm sure. I know John Williams said that he visited a horse farm out in California before he started scoring this film, and he realized that the horses were, started recognizing him, and he knows how they interact with each other, and he's like, these are really intelligent creatures. And I'm like, yeah. Not to
Well,
knock you, but yeah. I guess you can tell he kind of grew up in the city.
You know, I have to say, I have to confess, I don't think I've been around a horse for a long period of time. I don't think I've never ridden a horse.
Really?
You know, I've seen them in TV and things, but I don't think I've ever actually gotten to know a horse up close, really. Yeah, no.
You can't
Weird, isn't
write?
it? What?
You can't write?
I've never tried.
Okay.
Never had the opportunity, I guess. Seabiscuit, though, that's a favorite of mine. Remember Seabiscuit?
Yeah. Clothes in that film are beautiful.
I love that movie. Okay. But this movie, I don't know. How do you rank it among horse pictures?
Never thought about that. But Sword and the Pen says children and animals are super tough to film. Yes. Steven Spielberg does a wonderful job with children, though.
Yeah, he just tells them act as obnoxious as possible.
And
Actually,
you can
that
tell
was
Boomer
for
does
the
not have any kids.
what?
I said you can tell Boomer doesn't have any kids.
No, what I'm trying to say is no. In Close Encounters of the Third Kind, the kids are very obnoxious in that movie. Remember that?
He gets kidnapped pretty quick, though.
No, not the little kid. He's all right. The toddler. I'm talking about Dreyfus's kids. They're very obnoxious.
Oh, well, they leave him anyway.
And even a little bit in ET, though they grow on you as the movie goes on. Whereas I think later on he was nicer to kids in his later movies. Probably when he started having kids, he was nicer to them. That's probably what I'm meaning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sword and the Pen says Black Stallion is rather artistic as far as horse movies go. I saw that as a kid when it came out in the theater, and I fell asleep.
I think it was a big champion of Siskel and Ebert when that came out. They gave it a
Yeah.
rave review when it came out. Yeah, I like Seabiscuit. I've seen Secretariat. That's pretty good. I've seen Hot to Trot with a good Bobcat Goldthwait and the voice of John Candy as the horse.
I was going to make an inappropriate joke, but I'll let it slide this time.
There's enough of those in that movie. Anyway, have you seen Hot to Trot?
Not on the internet, not in the theater.
Got a talking horse voiced by John Candy. That's the selling point right there. I don't know how you just didn't jump on that immediately. That was just, come on. And of course, I'm sure Bobcat Goldthwait, I can't even do his voice justice. Oh, my horse talking. You know, he's probably saying my horse is talking, with his, weird, weaselly, gravelly voice, and nobody believes him, right? And he was, and he says, there have been other talking horses about Mr. Ed. And he says, you'd move, he moved his lips, you'd move your lips too if you had a carrot shoved up your, okay, and he didn't get, I won't go further than that.
Oh, wait, Boomer.
Actually, I heard that what you do to get the horse's lips moving movies is you put peanut butter. You give them peanut butter.
Yeah. The dogs love peanut butter.
Well, dogs love it too.
Yeah.
So Warhorse, is it? Where do you rank it on John Williams scores? Top 10, top 20, top 30?
Be the top 20. Okay. Top 5 since the year 2000.
Better than Minority Report, right?
Yeah. Would it make top 10?
I don't know.
I think it would be just outside the top 10.
All right. So Warhorse, like I said, it's fine. I want to say it's fine. I don't like attacking it because I've spent the last hour attacking it. I'm trying to think.
You said you've seen it several times.
Well, that's because I saw it in the theater with my parents, and my parents loved it. My dad loved it. So I had to watch it again when company was over, and I think I might have watched it 3 times. So I've seen it a few times. It doesn't hit for me. It hits for other people. That's fine. I guess I like my war movies a little more violent, or maybe it's not even violence I'm looking for, just I'm not gonna say this movie isn't depressing either at points. It's he's shying away from stuff. That's what it feels like. And that's what bothers me. Anyway, that's all. Like I said, I argued the Peanut special went more in depth than more. Anyway, I'll keep my mouth shut. I'm coming off as an ass, I'm sure. Black Sign was produced by Francis Ford Coppola. Hear that?
Yeah. Well, there are different kinds of violence, Boomer.
What?
There's different types of violence. I mean, the horse. I mean, getting caught in barbed wire in no man's land, that's pretty violent.
I don't care. I'm talking about the soldiers, man. I'm
Okay.
expecting the horse don't care.
I
I don't
think the
know.
horse cares.
It's not like Legends of the Fall where the guy gets caught in barbed wire because he can't see because he got a face full of gas and he went blind. And then the I guess the Germans rig up a machine gun, a Gatling gun, just to lay into him. Remember that part?
That was a bit
See
overkill.
that? Well, that's not in this movie. That's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
Shouldn't
Thank
you
you.
have had some bad guy like wanting to shoot at the horse at some point? Like,
Well,
I
like
like to kill the animals more than the men. Ha ha ha. That should have been a scene. We didn't see that. I'm just saying. Okay. Never
well,
mind.
you did say Spielberg was trying to be even-handed to both the Germans and the Brits. So
Yeah, well, I guess. I guess you're right. It would have been a French soldier doing it, I think. Yeah.
thank you, Sword and Pen, for bringing up Black Stallion. Francis Ford Coppola's father scored that film. I should probably look that up and give that a listen to. I know Danny Elfman did the remake of the Black Stallion. Are you talking about the remake? Okay, no, you are talking about the first one because you said Francis Ford Coppola. Yeah, who did the remake?
Yeah.
But Danny Elfman, I'm pretty sure, scored the remake.
So,
well, Boomer, I'm sorry I'm not going to sit through this film again today and watch it.
It was 2.5 hours, and it's not my favorite. I already had to sit through Alien 3 last week. Director's cut's not an improvement either, or not director's because the director didn't approve the cut, so it's the assembly cut, as they call it, with the cow.
And it was an ox. It was an ox. I really thought you suggested Alien 3 because you liked it.
No, I think I suggested it because we were waiting on the other two. I said, what the heck? Why don't we just watch Alien 3? And then
Superman 4 next week.
I'll be kinder to Alien Resurrection. See, Superman 3 I'm more kind to than I am to Alien 3 because I feel there are good things in Superman 3. there is for the love story works for me. The love story works for me.
No,
the red kryptonite, which is not red, but whatever. No. You know what?
Superman 3 is like opening a can of like
Richard Pryor is
favorite
funny.
food, and it's got nothing but botulism in it, and you're forced to eat it.
I'm not saying it's a great movie or even
a
possible Superman movie. No. I'm saying that there are things in it that were good and things in it that weren't good. As opposed to Superman 4, which is just a mess.
No.
Okay. So,
Tune in next week, everyone, for the Throwdown of the Century. I haven't found anything good with Superman 3.
Annette O'Toole is the love interest. Like they're better than Margot Kidder. There, boom, said it. I like Superman going bad with they didn't do the red kryptonite, but they basically did the red kryptonite where he gets the red and he goes bad. I like that part. That's classic Superman. I like him fighting himself. Basically, it's Superman versus Clark Kent in the junkyard. That's pretty good. That's all good stuff. I like the romance too. I'll say it again. I thought, here is a romance that could work for Superman. He could have like a surrogate son, and the son believes in Superman. The son was the only one cheering Superman on when everybody else said you suck and everyone was yelling at him. He was the only person that in Metropolis that was saying, "Hey, you'll be better. You're just sick. You'll be great again." And I like that. And he should have married Lana. There you go. That movie is the is the argument for him getting with Lana right there. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say.
Okay, I think that's the only good thing about that movie. Was
all right. Okay.
All right.
Anyways, and
Johnny Shannon says the movie would have been better if the horse had been going around fighting people, wearing ammo belts, everything.
If the horse was shooting people,
yeah.
That may happen in Deadpool 3. You never know. I can see that.
What are your thoughts on War Horse? You haven't. I don't think you've shared your thoughts on War Horse.
A movie doesn't get a pass just because Spielberg directs it. I'm still giving it a pass, though. Okay, wait a minute. I haven't seen Tintin yet. Maybe I'll hate that more. We'll see.
Tintin's got a great. I mean that's John Williams.
Isn't it a cartoon?
It is a cartoon.
Some movie for babies.
That's probably the most theme heavy and melody heavy Williams score since Hook.
Okay. Well, I'll look into
I'm definitely serious. I think it's probably got the heaviest theme and melody of any score John Williams done since Hook.
Okay.
But it doesn't make my top 5 since the year 2000, which is weird. But y'all know how I am with numbers. Maybe. No, I've got 10-10 listed as number 10 since the year 2000. It's right behind Lincoln.
Oh no, that one I'll tear into. Lincoln. Oh no.
You didn't like the score for Lincoln, or you didn't like
good performance by Daniel Day-Lewis. That's that movie. That's a cure for insomnia, if ever there was one.
Okay. Big Al says he was going to watch the film for the first time tonight. Sorry to disappoint you. You
might like it, Big Al. Give it a look. Give it a look. Make up your own mind. Don't listen to Boomer.
It's a good film. It's a very, very good film.
Like I said, my dad loved it. My dad loved it. He was a movie buff. He loved War Horse.
I don't have any Prozac in the house, and I just don't want to go there again. I
can't go there again with Midsummer.
Why'd you go there to start with?
That's a one and done because I had
to know. That was on you, Boomer. You chose to watch it. You chose.
And now I know.
You don't have to know everything.
Horror that has the stupidest characters I've ever seen in a horror movie, hands down. You don't walk into the propeller blade, and that's what they did in that movie. You know the situation you're in. See, in most horror movies, people realize they're in a bad situation and they try to escape, and some of the people don't make it and some do. It's that sort of thing. In this, they just said, oh, everything's fine. It's normal. No, it's not. It's not. What you saw was not normal. Get out of there. It's just.
What's that movie called? Like, is it Chuck and Dale versus Evil? Or
that's a brilliant movie. There's a horror movie we could watch. Have you seen that?
I watched the trailer for it. Ian sent it to me, and I was like, "Is this for real? It's like really happened?" And he's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Dude,
it didn't really happen. He's messing with you."
No, I meant did this film actually get made?
Really, it's brilliant. It's brilliant actually because. Let's face facts. We're one of the few groups you can pick on in a horror movie. It's the hillbillies, right? It's the evil hillbillies. Well, these are hillbillies.
Dale, that's what
Tucker and Dale are fine gentlemen. They're hillbillies. They're fine gentlemen, but they keep, situations keep being construed that makes them look like the evil hillbillies. It's a wonderful little movie in that way. Like they're not really doing anything. They're just a couple guys. They want to drink some beers, go fishing. That's it. And everything around them, it looks like they're
pretty much
from the perspective of the college students. They're the psychotic, like Sawyer family, but they're not. And it's interesting because it's kind of touching on a little bit of a horror prejudice there, about hillbillies and whatnot, or so it's a good little film. I appreciate
it. Did you like the score for War Horse when you first heard it, or were you kind of indifferent?
Me, I liked it. It's a good Williams score.
Okay.
I remember it being highlighted on Siskel, Ebert and Roper when they were watching the movie, especially like the part where they, I think all the Irish guys are watching the horse in that one scene. That's a good track. I'm just saying. I don't know. It was like my dad's big thing, and I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. You want your sentimental World War II, World War I movie that you can watch with your 6-year-old grandkid. There's this movie for you.
I don't know. I think it's a little too intense for a 6-year-old.
And then show Bambi right after. I'm sorry. Wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Where's the live action remake of that movie, Disney?
Oh,
I want to see it happen.
Summer 2026.
None of this nonsense baby. Where he goes running. You got to show the horse, the deer going down.
Okay. Well, next week, everyone, we're doing Superman 4.
No.
Bring your scorecards. Deleted Scenes will be joining us. And he's never seen the film. It's his first time watching it. So,
how's the score to Superman 4? Do you like the score?
It's like a Frankenstein Williams score. He wrote like 4 new themes for the film. But technically, like the Nuclear Man theme was like an early draft from The Witches of Eastwick that wasn't used for The Witches of Eastwick. and he didn't have time to do it, so he gave it to Alexander Courage, who's a longtime arranger, with John Williams, and he took pre-existing material, he took new material, and then he arranged it and added in some new stuff. But
I don't know.
I actually kind of like the score to Superman 4. It's very theme
Yeah,
heavy.
especially the title track. It's great.
Hey, Superman's your favorite John Williams score, is it not?
Yeah, that's my joke. The title track. That's my joke because it's the same title track, isn't
Oh,
it?
well, jokes are supposed to be funny, but I'm just saying.
Okay, I'm just saying. Listen to me. I love Superman 4. It is my favorite John Williams score. I am Superman 1 because he didn't. I don't really count those other scores as being done by John Williams, but
The second one wasn't, and the third one sure as hell wasn't. But the fourth, I think Alexander Kurtz did a pretty good job. I don't know what kind of time constraints he was under, because I know the picture, like Canon Films, just like folded financially during the production of that movie, and it really shows in the film. But
okay,
I enjoy the score of Superman 4 for just, I guess like the 12-year-old in me really enjoys it. But did you not have Superman 4 on CD?
no.
Did you not
I don't even have the DVD anymore, but I think I have it through HBO Max, so I'll watch it through there.
No, did you buy the box set that came out with all 4 scores in it a couple years back?
No, I got the mega set. I got the fancy version of, and you got me the LP as well, the original score, and okay. I also got the 3-disc one on eBay, and that's it. Okay. No. Listen to me. I understand you're a completionist, but
yeah,
there's only one Superman score by John Williams. Is there not?
No, you're right. Like legitimately, he only did one movie.
Okay, but anyway, we'll talk about the score next week. Obviously, this is
okay.
But I don't know. I'll rewatch. I'll try to brush up on Superman 4 with Nuclear Man. Oh boy!
There was 2 Nuclear Men in that film, but one got cut out.
Oh no!
Yeah, there's all kinds of production stories on that film.
There's all sorts of things going on with the Superman movies. For instance, the villain in Superman 3 was supposed to be Brainiac. The villain in Superman 4 was supposed to be Bizarro. And they screwed it up both times. But anyway, but we'll talk about it on next Wednesday with deleted scenes. That'll be a fun little stream. All right,
I'm sure. And again, everyone coming to who wanted like an entire commentary with Warhorse, I just wasn't.
Hold on.
Quite willing to go there again today.
Big Al was ranting about Florence Pugh. That movie made me not like Florence Pugh for a while. I've come around on her recently because I liked her in that Puss in Boots movie as Goldilocks. Okay, but no. This guy's psychotic girlfriend in Midsummer. Oh, she's not psych. Yes, she is.
Superman 4 or Highlander 2?
I like Highlander 2. I know everybody hates it, but I get a kick out of it.
We are officially no longer friends.
Whatever. Okay? Anyway, we'll talk about that another stream. Anyway, okay. You want to live forever.
Don't give me a copyright strike.
Okay. I'm so, something? Well, on that note, we should end the stream.
I'm already on YouTube's poo-poo list, so let's not make it worse. All right. Again, I apologize for us not actually watching the film tonight. I'm sure all of you understand how I am with my animals, and just it is a very good film. If you have not watched Warhorse, it is worth watching. Do have your Kleenex handy and some Prozac for afterwards. You can either take 2 or 4, however you need. Just something makes yourself a bit happier afterwards. If you do not have the film score by John Williams, I highly recommend it. It can run you about $20 to $30 in secondary market. It's, of course, out of print by this point in time. The LP is getting pricey. I would expect to pay at least $50 for the LP. It was released by Sony Classical. It's a 2 LP gatefold. It's a very nice presentation. I absolutely adore the film score on LP. The dynamics open up and the warmth just wraps you like a blanket on a cold, cold Sunday morning in February. So if you are an LP person, get it on LP, definitely. Nothing else. Get it on CD. One of those streaming people, by all means, hey, okay, whatever. But As always, adopt, don't shop. Keep listening to great film scores. Next week, Superman 4 with Boomer, myself, and deleted scenes. Come join the mayhem and the fun next week. Take care, everyone. Have a good night.